Could you have ever imagined that you would go into tech and then you would start meeting celebrities?
Absolutely not. No, I mean, no. I just thought I was coding. That me and a computer coding. And then, I became an instructor where I was teaching it. That's where you have to have a bigger vision for yourself.
Welcome to 100 Days of Trailhead, where the tech community comes to learn Salesforce, learn tech, get inspired, and invest in ourselves. We are your trail guides, here to support you on your learning journey. We release videos weekly. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a video. In the description below, you can find links for everything we mention in this video, as well as books and resources we found useful. Visit our blog, 100daysoftrailhead.com, for other helpful Salesforce and tech content. Today we have the honor of interviewing a successful Black woman who started her career off developing on mainframes and worked her way up to become VP of the Trailblazer community and Trailhead evangelism at Salesforce, Leah McGowen-Hare. Leah is known for capturing her audience with her wit, humor, and her incredible wisdom.
Hi, welcome. I am Rachel Watson.
And I'm Jessica Murphy.
And we're from 100 Days of Trailhead. We have an incredibly special guest here today. We are very excited to have her, Leah McGowen-Hare.
Woo!
She is the VP of the Trailblazer community and of Trailhead evangelism. Welcome, Leah.
Thank you so much. We get the jazz hands going. Yay! Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
You all are the MVPs. I'm just the VP. You're the MVP.
Oh, no, I think you were the OG MVP.
You're right, exactly.
Well, the OG just means old, Rachel. That just means old. But that's all good. It's all good. I'm like wine, get fine with time. Hello.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's start this off by just understanding a little bit about where you've come from to get to where you are today. So tell us a little bit about your tech journey.
Oh, sure. So, as you indicated before, I'm old school. I started out in the 90s in technology. I graduated with a computer science undergrad from UMass Amherst. Started my journey working in consulting at a time called Anderson Consulting, which is now known as Accenture. And I was building systems on mainframes. I'm not as old as punch cards, but it was mainframes, with a black terminal with orange letters or green letters. And I worked on the online portion, which was, the hot stuff, and called CICS, which was the online. And I did do batch programming in COBOL as well. So worked a lot there, literally doing a lot of development there. I worked in the World Trade Tower in the financial district. And then I worked for tax, for our tax industry pillar for Accenture, well, Anderson at the time. Then I moved out from Brooklyn. I left Brooklyn and moved out to San Francisco, where I was still working with Anderson, and I worked in the phone company for a while as one of the industries. And it was weird. It was back and probably more before you all remember, they used to have a long distance connector and a local phone connector. So long distance wanted to get into the local business and local wanted to get in the long distance. So we had to open up their systems so that they could do both. And I was working at AT&T then as one of our clients for Anderson. So that was interesting on their systems. And then I decided to move out of consulting, and I went directly into just straight up developer. I became a software developer for PeopleSoft, which was in Pleasanton. And at that time I was working on client server development, which was like, ooh, look at this client server development, where you learn about, your app server, your web server, your database. It was all, these different tiers of the architecture and the integration between them, but it was still all on-prem, right? Huge systems on-prem, but doing the development. And, there wasn't big UX stuff in there. They needed it because now client server opened up a whole new user experience for our users, where you could have colors and you could have images and you could have all this stuff. So I worked in that for a while, and then I left and started my own company and did PeopleSoft conversions. So I worked for one of my clients, was transforming their old file-based system, which was a Tesseract system, file-based system, to PeopleSoft. So, doing the data conversion and data mapping. Let me tell you, that is not glamorous work, but it pays well. And it paid my way through grad school. So I had my own company. I was working full time. I was going to grad school full time too. And I got my master's in education and technology. And once I got that, I left and I joined Salesforce, where I've been for now going on 12 years. Wow, 12 years.
Wow. You really have had an amazing journey.
Yes, remarkable. Remarkable. So many things that people don't know about you, that you like moved from Brooklyn and you moved to California and you worked in PeopleSoft and had your own business. That is so cool.
Yes, I am grabbing around. I got chapters and chapters of this book. Yeah, I'm originally from the East Coast. I'm from New England. Went to, school out there. Then after I graduated, moved to Brooklyn, New York, because I was still trying to do I wanted to do dancing and theater and computer science. So I did that for a hot second.
Wait,
I was in
dancing and theater?
Oh yeah, I was in an off Broadway show up in Harlem, but it was still off Broadway. I did a little bit of here and there. Yeah, I did some music videos. Yeah. I got quite the history, my dear.
Okay, wow, this is amazing.
Okay, so if you did a music video, is there anyone that we might be able to see you in?
It was a collaboration with a rapper called Big Daddy Kane and Positive K. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, what?
We are so looking for that. That is so cool.
That is cool.
Okay, all right. Since you're the VP of Trailhead, what is your favorite trail project or trail mix?
I have to say it's a super badge, Apex super badge, because that was my hardest one that I got, that I celebrated once I got it.
That's awesome. I think that a lot of people would, always choose their hardest, the one that they perceive the hardest.
Because it's such a milestone, right? You're like, oh my gosh, I worked so hard to get this. I mean, there's a lot of fun ones out there, a lot of good information out there. But I think that one was the one that I was like, I was up nights figuring it out.
Totally understand. It's interesting to know, one thing is more difficult for one person and something else is more difficult for another. But
absolutely,
that's what we always, preach, when you have something that you have accomplished, whatever hurdle that is, we love to celebrate with people. So,
oh, absolutely.
Yay.
And always celebrate the milestones. People always want to wait to celebrate the big things. It's like, celebrate on that journey to getting to the big things.
Yes,
absolutely. That is sage advice. So if you could give some advice to someone who was starting their Salesforce career, what kind of advice would you give?
Definitely get on Trailhead, but even more importantly, find your local community. Trailblazer community is just, I didn't have anything like that coming up in my tech world. It was before the time where tech was cool and it was so accessible to everybody. So having that network of people who are truly rooting for you, who are going to answer questions for you, and who you can connect with, and just it's such an amazing community that's really, really a gift to all that join. So I would encourage them to, definitely learn on Trailhead, connect with the community, and attend as many sessions as you possibly can.
I love that. Okay, so equally though, we have some people that are mid-career, whether it's mid-career in Salesforce or mid-career who are, changing careers. What advice would you give them?
Same thing. Get on Trailhead and give the community, because you're going to find such a variety of people there, right? And you're going to find people in that community who, like you, were mid-career and changed, right? A lot of times we think our journey is so unique, nobody has experienced what we have, right? But what you're going to find is when you start connecting with people, their stories are similar to yours, or they've had some of the same obstacles. It's like, hey, I was in law for a while and now I want to get into this tech thing. And maybe the other person wasn't in law, but maybe they were in healthcare, but they were doing that mid-career shift. And they were like, well, here's how we did it. Now, what's for you ain't for everybody, right? So, but what I can do is share my stories, and there might be gems or things that might resonate with you and be like, I might try that. So I really think trying to do it in a silo or by yourself can be a harder journey than it needs to be. Connect with people, ask questions. People have gone that route. How have you gotten there? What are some resources you use? Who should I talk to? These are all great questions, whether you are beginning or mid-career. I think it's really important to do that because the community is so wide and vast. You're going to find your tribe or your group there.
You know, I absolutely agree with you. I was actually in the middle of a Trailhead Academy class and I was signing ASL to Rachel. Someone was like, oh, you know sign language? And like, like you just never know when you're going to find your tribe. It happens all the time in the community.
But you got to put yourself out there, right? If you just stay in your own four walls, how are you going to find that? So it's putting yourself out there and being open and connecting.
Yes,
absolutely.
I know a little sign language. I know my alphabet. I think we talked about that before.
That is awesome. I love it.
Well, at the very least, you could always, do your spelling for each individual
That's
word.
right. I kind of know. My daughter's learning it like good morning. Did I do it right?
Good morning.
Yeah, you were close. Good.
Good morning.
Yeah, you got it.
You
That's
got
it. Yes.
Good morning. This is good night.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You got it.
Yes.
Well, you have really encapsulated how important the Trailblazer community is and why it is so valuable. So what kind of advice can you give to businesses that want to try to set up a similar type of community for their organization?
You know, one of the beautiful things about the community is it's something that started organically. It was there before. I mean, Salesforce, it's kind of like saying Columbus came to the United States and there were people. Well, the community was there and we saw that and nurtured and helped grow it, but it was something that started organically. So for companies and businesses, I would say, find out what's already out there, what seeds have been planted, and how you can nurture and grow that. Because I think there's something to be said about nurturing something that's growing organically, than forcing on to be like, hey, you all are going to be a community because you like our product, right? Mm-hmm. It can start online, a forum where you have just sort of like how Salesforce, where you have people asking questions, right? Just an online community. And from that online community, it can grow to many things, but you want to invest in that, give that community tools, create events for that community to come together. You got to invest and nurture that community. But the first thing is to find that community, because I'm guaranteed there's always one out there. It could be one that only consists of 3 or 4 people, but if you grow that, it will become much bigger, it will become scalable, it will become global.
Wow, that's some really sage advice. And I think that that's something that a lot of businesses want to know. How can we grow our community? So I'd like to shift gears now. So how many?
Oh, I'm putting on my seatbelt.
You ready?
Okay, shifting gears.
Okay.
I know how you like to roll, so let me just make sure I'm buckled up for this ride.
Okay. How many celebrities have you met since working with Salesforce, and who was your favorite?
Oh, girl, please, I can't count. Oh my goodness. Yeah, obviously, some of the ones that I was just in awe of when I met was hands down Michelle Obama. I babbled. I probably sounded like a second grader. A second grader would sound smarter than me.
No, I can't believe that.
I was just like, I think I said to her, like, if I had you grown up, I'd be great. She was like, I think you're doing okay. I was like, really?
Oh my God. That's exactly how I was when I met you.
It's just like, okay. She was just amazing. And people were just crying when they met her. Grown folks just crying. She's just amazing. One of the musicians that I recently interviewed last year, and her movie is out, her first debut acting, Andra Day. We vibed like we were girlfriends from back in the day. It was just such a great interview, so connected. It was wonderful. And we were talking about, she's playing Billie Holiday. It's Billie Holiday versus the United States, or the United States versus Billie Holiday. where she plays Billie Holiday. And Billie Holiday is one of my favorites. Even growing up, I love Lady Sings the Blues. So that was like one of those connections you'll never forget. There's just been so many. There's just been so many. Like I had an amazing conversation today with Herbie Hancock. Like what? Him and I were talking Black history, and he told me about a time when his father brought him to see this old man who turned out to have been a slave at one point. And how he never forgot that. And I was just like, so I'm very grateful for some of these amazing moments. And I hope I always keep them up in my head so that when I'm 90 years old, I can retell these stories to my grandkids. Of course, it's gonna be totally different, because it's gonna be like, oh, I hung out with Michelle Obama, and she and I, it's gonna be a whole different story when I tell it. But who's gonna argue with a 90-year-old?
Right. Could you have ever imagined that you would go into tech and then you would start meeting celebrities?
Absolutely not. No, I mean, no. I just thought I was coding. Me and a computer coding. And then, I became an instructor where I was teaching it. And I was like, I never. But I think that's where you have to have a bigger vision for yourself, which I'm in the spirit of transparency, I had struggled with. I was very used to very linear thinker. This is what I do. This is where I stay. Right. And it took having great mentors and people in my life that helped me have a bigger vision for myself than I saw myself. And the other part of that is also being open, right? If I would have just stayed so rigid that this is how I see myself, this is how I see my life. Because at one point I thought, well, my father was a professor, my mother was a teacher, I'm a great instructor. This is pretty much what I'm supposed to do for the rest of my life. If I would have kept myself there, I would not have been open to the opportunities that came my way that allowed me to have interviewed Trevor Noah twice, or meet Michelle Obama, or meet, Barack Obama. Like those things would have never happened because I would not have been open to those opportunities.
Yes.
I'm just in awe of all the people that you have been able to meet and share space with. I just think that's incredible.
And I always rub on them because I'm like, well, the virtual ones, obviously I can't, because I'm like, maybe some of that greatness will roll off me. And like, I think either a picture of me and President Barack Obama, and we're like this, and people are like, your shoulder, he touched your shoulder. I was like, yeah, I'm charging $5 if you want to touch my shoulder.
No, you're already great. I think that you're
Absolutely.
amazing. So yeah.
As are you all. And I think the biggest thing is like what we should aspire to do is help people see the greatness in themselves. You know what I mean? It's not, I'm just as ordinary as everybody else. And it's when you can really find and be able to walk in your purpose, that is the thing that is inspiring to others, is that they can see, wow, this person is being authentically them. I don't want to be like them. I want to be the best version of me. That's my goal, is to inspire people, is to walk in strength in their purpose and be the best version of themselves. Because that's all I can be at this point. I'm old, y'all. I ain't got time to be trying to be nobody else, do anything else. I can't do that. I ain't got that kind of energy.
No, you're not old. And I have to say that that comes through in the advice and the things that you say, like the conversations that you and I have had. You're always telling me to walk in my purpose. You're always giving me that type of advice. And I absolutely love that about you. So thank you for that. Thank you from the bottom.
Thank you for listening to me, because my kids don't. So I appreciate you.
I think that is a natural thing. I mean, if you get an auntie to tell them, then they might listen. But from parents,
I know.
After a certain age, I don't know. So, if you weren't working at Salesforce or in tech, what would you be doing?
I mean, like I said, I started off as a dance major. I was determined to be dancing with Alvin Ailey somewhere, or off doing Fame somewhere, or Dance Theater Harlem. So who knows? I might be a struggling actor, actress, or successful. Who knows? I don't know. That's what I would like to think. Or, my goal at that time was like, I didn't want to star on Broadway. I wanted to be part of the ensemble cast. I was like, I want to be the ensemble cast that comes on and dances. So maybe I would have been an ensemble member for Hamilton.
That'd be awesome.
Yes.
So what was your favorite style of dance that you did?
I like jazz lyrical. I studied all of them: tap, ballet, on point, all of it. but hip hop was okay. I auditioned to be a fly girl. That's a whole nother story. But I would like jazz lyrical.
It is beautiful.
It is. Okay, so this is, as you know, it's Black History Month. And this is a question we love to ask, especially since we're WIT devs and, 100 Days of Trailhead. If you could tell every Black girl in the world something, what would you tell them?
The first thing that just came to my mind is you are enough. There is greatness within you. There's nothing you need to look externally for. There's nothing that you need to try to become except more of who you are. These are things I tell my daughter. So just reaffirming who they are, the skin they're in, the way they move through this world is enough and is a gift to others, and value that gift. So don't give your gift to everybody. Because there's that whole thing of trying to appease and be accepted and do this. No. Who you are is a gift, and you have to, and when you begin to recognize it, you will treat it as such. But I think the key is you are enough, who you are. Do not try to become other.
Yes.
There's greatness in you. There's greatness that you come from, and all of that is embodied in who you are.
Ooh, yes, beautiful.
I think that is incredibly beautiful, and there's a lot of depth in those words.
Yes,
For sure.
yes.
So we've learned a lot about you, but what is one thing that most people don't know about you that might surprise them?
Golden Girls is one of my favorite shows. I don't eat red meat. I haven't eaten red meat since 1988. I'm not a vegetarian nor vegan. I eat chicken and fish, but I haven't eaten red meat since 1988.
If you could choose a superpower, what would it be?
The ability to fly.
Okay, tell us why.
I don't know. Some of my best dreams, I can fly. I'm flying, and I wake up remembering I'm flying. And there's a great freedom to that. Like I could just get up and just go fly somewhere. Because it was between that or being invisible. But invisible, then I'm gonna be sneaky and listening to stuff I have no business listening to, and then whatever. So I don't know that I would use that power for good. So I think flying is just a very free. Some of my best dreams, I was flying.
And here's the last question. As you know, a whole bunch of people in the ecosystem are currently doing 100 Days of Trailhead.
Yes, I heard.
And a lot of them we're getting to that part where they're struggling a little bit because, we're close to the middle. Mm-hmm. So what advice would you give those people who are right now doing 100 Days of Trailhead and struggling through making Trailhead into a habit?
You are where you're supposed to be. Ooh. And it's not supposed to feel super comfortable. What have you ever invested in that was worth it, that was easy? Nothing. Whether it was getting a fitness plan or a new routine, there was that time when it just got hard. But that's when you had to dig deep and truly test your faith, your commitment, your tenacity to get you to the other side. So I think you are exactly where you're supposed to be. You are supposed to be feeling this, but what you are not supposed to be doing is quitting. So you've got to dig deep, stick to it, and just imagine, keep your eye on the prize of where this is bringing you, right? This pain you're going to gain at the end, some great knowledge, and it's going to be well worth it.
Absolutely. And you're a perfect example of that. There's no way that you got from, starting out thinking that you were going to become a teacher, just like your parents, going into tech and being open to that, and working your way up from a developer all the way up to a VP of a multinational company, without being tenacious.
Yep.
Oh yeah, no, it's you got to have some drive, some commitment, and you got to have a support system. So, there was no way I did this journey on my own. My mentors, my friends, my family were key. I couldn't even imagine this journey without them. So find your support system and dig in, and you're not going through it alone.
Right.
You are not. I've seen it on Twitter. There's a bunch of folks doing it. So you are not doing this alone. So definitely reach out.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
being here
much.
with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. This has been so awesome. We've learned so much about you and your journey.
Yes. Well, one of the
Probably
things
too much. I told you too daggone much.
No, I think one of the most amazing things is what I love about these interviews is that we're getting to know people, right? Because like we see you on stage and you're talking about this amazing product that, Salesforce has, and it's like there is a human there. And I want everybody to know how amazing you are. So thank you so much for this.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share a piece of who I am.
Awesome.
Hopefully it doesn't scare people away.
Thank you for spending time with us. Please like and subscribe to our channel because we share weekly content to support your tech and Salesforce learning journey. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss a new video. We also handpick these videos which we recommend you watch next. Connect with us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and on 100daysoftrailhead.com, all of which are listed below. Thank you for learning with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.